Welcome to the video tutorial on microprocessors and microcontrollers. The course code is W2110. In the previous tutorial, I have explained about the internal details of 8051, and in the last tutorial, I have explained about the instruction set of 8051 in detail. So in this tutorial, I will be explaining about how we can use those assembly instructions of 8051 and programs for certain application on 8051 using a Kyle software. So in order to work with 8051, we have to program it or I have to load an application. So it is very important to understand how to load a software or a program into a microcontroller while developing an application. So in order to work with 8051, first we have to write an application. That application should be burnt or loaded into 8051. This process is often called as loading a firmware into a microcontroller in general way to a microcontroller, or to be specific, that loading a firmware or burning a firmware into 8051. So before loading any program into 8051, we have to write a source code either in assembly language or in C language. Then after that, we have to compile that source code using given standard cross compiler. Here to mention that we will be using a cross compiler to generate a hex file of the selected device. Rather here it is 8051. So we have to convert a source code into a hex file of a particular microcontroller. Then that hex file need to be burnt or loaded into a microcontroller. Here it is 8051. To do above these tasks, we need an IDE. So well-known IDE to program 8051 is a Kyle Microvision, which is an integrated development environment. That Kyle IDE integrates lot of things, including a text editor to write a program, a compiler or a cross compiler which converts source code into a hex file. Then once the hex file is ready or created by the Kyle IDE, then we need some utility tools to load that hex file into a microcontroller, especially 8051. Now your 8051 is ready to deploy in any application. So before we go to 8051 programming using assembly language, let's look at how to install a Kyle software on Windows platform. So go to the mentioned site www.kyle.com download and products. So here go to C51. You will get this menu and go to the C51. Click here, then you will get this exe file. Then double click this, or you should say save this to your desktop or a known location. Then after that you double click this, or you have to run this exe file. Then once you run this exe file, you'll get this menu. Then say next. Then you have to agree the license which is given by the software. Then just tick this and say next. When you say next, you'll get another window to select a folder where you want to. You can select a destination here, or the default will be C Kyle underscore v file. It is Kyle version 5 I'm using in this tutorial. So you can say select, or if you want other than this destination, then you have to select different location. Then say next. After that, you can give the details here. Then say next. Once you say next, you will get this window. Then wait. So your process has started for installation. Then wait for the installation. Then once you get this window, you say finish. So your Kyle software is ready for programming 8051. Yes, let's go with assembly language programming and Kyle software. So look at this very carefully. So I'll summarize what has to be done to program 8051 on Kyle. The first step is to create a project on Kyle software. Create a project. Then after creating a project, you have to select the device that you want to program with. Since Kyle software, Kyle ID supports lot of microcontroller microprocessor devices, so we have to select on which we will be working with. So here we'll be selecting 8051 microcontroller. Then once you select this 8051 microcontroller, then Kyle ID will make a platform for configuring for writing a assembly language or a C source code on 8051. After selecting a particular device, then we have to configure that device for a frequency or whatever, some different options. So once you configure this, then you have to create a source code. Here in this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to create a source code using assembly language. So create ASM file, write application in the assembly language programming. Then after creating a file, add ASM files to the project. Here in the first step you have created a project, then after that you have written assembly language code, then that assembly language file need to be added to the project, then after that compile or assemble and build the project. Then this process will create a hex file of as a given source code, then generate the hex file, then that hex file need to be built into 8051 microcontroller. So these are the summary of how do we write assembly language program on 8051. So in detail I'll be explaining about how to do it. So after installation of Kyle software, you will be able to find these kind of symbol either in the desktop, or you can go to program, then run this application. Once you run this application, you will be able to get this window. Here you have to go to project, then using this project, then you say new microvision project, select this option. After selecting this option, you will get this window. Here you have to give the name of the project that you want to work with. Probably say here I have given test 1. Don't give any extension here, simply say save. When you say your project is being created, now you have to select the target or a device for the target. So you will have a lot of options here designed by like analog devices, LTM. There are a lot of microcontrollers available here. You can select whichever device you want to work with, whereas here in this tutorial I'll be explaining about 8051. So you have to select 8051 microcontroller. So directly go to generic, there you will find 8051 microcontroller, also 8051 all variants. So select this, then say OK. When you say OK, your device is selected. Then you will get this menu, copy startup code to project folder and add files to project. Say yes here. When you say yes, you will get this menu. So after that, you have to go to, now your project is ready. Project is created. So you have to create a source code. So go to file, then say new. When you say new, you will get this window. Here this is the place where you will be writing the source code either in C language or in assembly language. Okay, then start writing the code. Probably say I have written a code here, org00 move a comma 21 move b comma 10, then add a comma b. So this is my simple application to add the content of a and b. The result of course will be in accumulator. So I'll be giving here label colon sjmp, short jump to label. So this particular statement is to create an infinite loop here, because 8051 always will be working independently, where we have to make it see that it is executing for infinite time. Okay, then after that you go to file, then say save. Once you save, you will get this menu or window. Then here you have to write the name of the file. Say I have given here addition1.asm extension should be given. Then you say save. When you say save, then that particular file will be saved. Okay, then go to this target one, say option, right, go to this and right click this. Once you right click this, you will get options for the target. So here we will be selecting different options, we'll be setting options for our project that we have selected. Okay, then you will get this window. So in target window, you have option here. You can other things you can leave. Simply select 12.0, just 12 megahertz. So you are setting a frequency for 8051 microcontroller to operate with 12 megahertz. Then after that you have to go to output menu. So here you will get this window. In this window you will leave everything as it is. Now you have to select this create hex file, because we need to burn hex file into 8051. So click this, you'll get this, then say OK. Then after that you have to go to a source group 1, then say right click that, then say add existing files to the group. When you click this, you will get this window. So in this window, default will be C source file. So click here, then you'll say select all files. So all dot files, that is say select this, then you will see here what are the files that you have created or which you want to add into a project. So say I have created edition 1.asm, so I'll select this and say add. Once it is added, that means you have to close this. Once it's closed, this is where your application is ready. So here what we have done, we have created a project using project menu. Then after that we have configured the project, we have selected the device 8051. Then after that we went to the file and created a new application using ASM. Once this is ready, now we have to compile or translate or convert that this particular project for any errors. Okay, so go to this button and just click this. And so click this code starts compiling. Here you will be getting whatever the as a build output information here. So here you see this edition 1.asm, there is a warning. It says is a missing end statement. So whatever the errors we are doing in this application, those errors will be shown in this window here. So you can rectify this. Since it is a warning, it can be skipped or it can be rectified also. So here again go to this, then right end here, then again come to the same menu, then you click this, then now you see here there are no errors or no warnings. So your application which is written in assembly language for edition is without any error. Then you can go to this button and say build project. So this is the place where it will create now hex file using cross compiler. So just click this, your hex file is created. See here, create hex file form. So your hex file will be created with the name of a project. So I have given a project to be test1. It is not a file name. The file name need not be a single file. It can be multiple files also. Hence the hex code will be generated with a as a project name. So you will be having test1 dot hex file created. So that hex file need to be bounded to 8051. Okay, now come to this. If you want to see that in a simulation mode, that whether whatever the logic you have written, whether it is logically correct or not, then go to a debug mode. Here you just see this D and press here. When you click this, you will get this menu, say evaluation mode, running with the core size limit 2K. You say just say OK. When you say OK, you will get this internal details of 8051. So if you look at this side, register 0, 1, 2 up to 7, these are the registers of 8051 internally. Then we have certain different registers also which is mentioned here. So you will be able to see when you are executing this application, you will be able to see what different types of registers are affected with, what different types of registers you are using in your code, and these register values whether they are updated or not can be seen in this window. Okay, so go to this place, go to this particular menu, then click it. Now your execution is started. If you look at this now, this instruction is executed, then control is at this instruction level. So that means move a comma 21 is executed. So if you look at this, a is loaded with 21. Then if you click again, go to this again click, that means see the second option is also say executed. That means so here content of B also will be say it is 10. Then earlier it was 21, then the B was 10. So adding these two, that will be updated into accumulator. So this is how we will be able to see the content of the registers of 8051 on Kyle IDE only. Then come to here, in addition to the internal details of the registers, we can even see what is happening even at the port also. You can go to peripherals, then select IO ports, then port 0, port 1, port 2, port 3. So all the ports details also you can see. So this is how we will be programming on 8051 using assembly language. So here I have given some practice program also. Look at this. It is practice program 1. It is how we load register with a different decimal with a different number system. Here this will show that it is a hexadecimal way of giving the data. This is binary way of giving the data. This is in terms of hexadecimal and in terms of octal. So practice this program and see the content of accumulator after executing each instruction. The next is how this program demonstrate how we can set the registers of different bank. The default bank will be 0, whereas if you want to access other than B1 B0 bank, then we have to set the PSW third and fourth bit. Similarly, we have a program for addition, a program for subtraction, program for multiplication, program for division, then program for uh, logical operations like OR, and we have exclusive OR. So this is all about how to write a program on Kyle software. So thank you. We'll see interfacing with 8051 in the next tutorial. Thank you. Thanks for watching.